Good morning, everyone. The bells on Old Main are chiming. It is 9 o'clock in Happy Valley. Welcome into the Alumni Association's coffee hour. We're going to be getting started in just a minute or two. Lynn DiCarlo has beat me to the punch. I always invite people to drop their name and where they're from in the Zoom, in the chat in Zoom, or in the comments out on Facebook. Lynn DiCarlo is Zooming in this morning from New Milford, New Jersey. Welcome and good morning. It's good to see some familiar names here in the Zoom room. Looking forward to our conversation this morning with former Penn State trustee and alumni volunteer Laurie Stanell. Look forward to passing her story along to you. Again, let us know who you are and where you're zooming in from this morning. Drop that information in the chat in Zoom or in the comments on Facebook Live. We'll be getting started in just a minute. Thanks for zooming in. I see Susan Ellis joining us from Brooklyn, New York. Good morning, Susan. See a couple of my colleagues joining us as well from Penn State. I see Maureen Killian and Roxanne Shields and Jennifer Lawrence. Good morning. We'll be getting started here in just a minute. I see a number of our Penn State trustees joining us this morning as well. Good to see Al DeLevy and Dave Kleppinger joining us here in coffee hour this morning. Where else would you rather be than a Zoom full of Penn Staters? I'm Paul Clifford, CEO of the Penn State Alumni Association, and welcome to the Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. Each week here on Coffee Hour, you can expect to hear the voices of Penn Staters talking about what they're passionate about, and you can expect to feel the pride and the power of the Penn State network. As always, we're recording this session and closed captions are available for this event. You can find that information in the chat in Zoom or in the comments on Facebook. Well, today we're talking with Laurie Stanell. Laurie was born into a Penn State family. Her parents both graduated from Penn State with science degrees. After Laurie graduated from Penn State, she took a year off and worked as a research assistant at Rohm and Haas Company in Bristol, Pennsylvania. She also taught advanced chemistry at her local high school for a semester. Both of her brothers followed her lead and also graduated from Penn State. After Penn State, Laurie graduated from Temple Dental School. During her last summer before graduation, she received a fellowship in head and neck cancer surgery at Temple Hospital. She opened her own dental practice in 1988. She's a member of the American Dental Association, the American Academy of General Dentistry, and the American Academy of Dental Sleep Medicine. From 2008 to 2012, she served as an adjunct faculty member at Temple Dental as well. Laurie is a volunteer extraordinaire, both here at Penn State and in her community. She volunteers for Sharing the Journey International, which provides clean water, dental care, cleft lip, and palate repair for children in developing countries. Please welcome Laurie Stanell to Coffee Hour. Laurie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great, Paul. How are you?
I am fantastic. It is good to see you, my friend. Let's start our conversation right at the very beginning. How did you become a Penn State Nindy Lion?
Well, people seem to think I was forced into becoming a Penn State because of my family. I am a fourth generation Penn Stater, but my great-grandfather took some mining engineering courses, I believe at the Hazleton campus, and then my grandfather was a mathematics undergrad major at Penn State, getting his master's at Bucknell after that. And then his daughter, my mom and dad, met here. But I looked at a lot of small schools, was accepted to F&M, and what was the other one? It's right near Philly. But anyway, they were all medical. I wanted to go to medical school initially. And then my mom said, you know what, let's look at Penn State. They hadn't been back since 1952 when my dad had graduated. And we drove in, it was a non-football weekend, and I saw everyone was my age sitting on the wall in front of Old Main, and it hit me. I took my interview, there were interviews back then, and I just loved it. The science department was great. They had a good medical school placement. I missed getting like in the 5-year program by 10 points on my SAT, but I thought, oh, I'll do this. Well, then that's why I decided to come here, because it was just beautiful. And it had the big football type feel, but yet a smaller feel with the groups that you could get involved with, the clubs and all that. So I just completely let F&M and Sinus was the other school.
Speaking of the clubs and getting involved, what were you involved in as a student at Penn State?
I was involved in a lot. I first got involved in a choir, the university choir. I was my roommate was from Pittsburgh. We roomed together for 2 years. I was always in Pollock. Then I rushed to sorority. I was in Phi Mu. I was rush chairman for Phi Mu. I became Panhellenic vice president. I was in the Phi Sigma Society, which is the honor society for biology. I was also in the service society, Alpha Phi Omega, I think it's called. I was in that. I was in Thon twice. Who does that? Me. I did that. Once I was a little sister for Theta Delta Chi, which Ted Brown and I used to, he was the Theta Delta Chi as a trustee. So I'm like, hey, I was little sister of D'Artagnan. So I danced for them as a freshman before I became a sorority sister at Phi Mu. And then I danced for Phi Mu. Actually, the second year that it was for the Four Diamonds Fund. When it was with Theta Delta Chi, it was for muscular dystrophy. So I loved, that was wonderful. I mean, it was at the hub and it was small and then I volunteered after that for sort of morale, but it wasn't really morale. It was just like people came in and helped you, like, keep dancing. You had to keep dancing, man. You couldn't stop.
Sure. So some of your favorite memories from your time here at Penn State?
Well, Thon was one of my most favorite memories because it was just a wonderful thing to do and such a big accomplishment. And to this day, I still do a lot with Thon. The other thing was being Panhellenic vice president. It was a great responsibility. I met a lot of great young women that I'm still friends with. And also truly to meeting Joe Paterno. I would go to mass on Sunday in the Forum,
Right.
and he would go there many times, and he would just sit in the back and ignore, kind of like leave me alone. It's the priest. The priest is the important one here, and you'd want to meet him, and he'd be like, no, it's okay, just do that. And he was just a regular guy. Oh, and I was campaigning for I also was in the Young Republicans. Okay, so. And I went campaigning for a guy, and I had to go to his house. And I thought, well, Sue will answer the door, right?
Right.
Joe answered the door. And there I was, an 18-year-old kid. And he invited me in. He said, oh, I'm going to vote. Don't worry, I'm going to vote for him. Don't worry. And I was just like awestruck. But that was one of my most memorable times at Penn State.
That is great. This is the Penn State Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. I'm Paul Clifford. I'm joined this morning by Laurie Stanell. Laurie's a former trustee for the university and alumni volunteer. Laurie, when you came to Penn State, did you always want to be a dentist? Was that what the goal was? And if it wasn't, like, how did you get on that track?
Okay, I wanted to go to medical school,
Right.
but about probably half my towards the end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year, I thought, do I want to be on call all the time? I wanted to have a family. I wanted to be able to have time with my family. So I started thinking dentistry, because I own my own practice. I have owned my own practice since 1 year after my daughter was born. Now, it's the best decision I ever made, because I have a brother that graduated from Penn State, and God bless him. He is with his sons all the time. Thank God he has sons, because he goes to everything they do. But he's on call. He's an OBGYN, so he is on call delivering babies, come snow, whatever. It's like the mailman. But me, I could go on their school. I could book off time. I don't have to. I'm on call, but it's not like him.
Right.
If a person has a toothache, they can wait a few hours, and it was really a great thing. And you can do different things with dentistry, and over the years I've branched out, so it's been great for me. And I was a single mom for a while. A lot of people don't know that. So for me, I was able to manage my life around that and still provide for my family for 8 years when I was a single mom till Terry and I married. Terry. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was more of a lifestyle decision for you. You didn't want to have to get a call in the third quarter of a Penn State game and have to leave the stadium, right?
No.
So
that would be horrible.
Throughout your professional career, service has been really important to you, and especially service with sharing the Journey International. Can you talk a little bit about how you got involved with that organization and what they're all about?
Yeah, there was something missing in my career that, I felt like I was doing the best I could for my, my patients, my family. I was serving Penn State, and I was teaching dentists, and I thought I need something to serve underrepresented or underprivileged people. And I got involved with this group called Sharing the Journey International that does, they were going to Guatemala at the time. Right now they're on standstill because there's some uprisings and things going on down there, obviously. But it's amazing. These people are so grateful for you to just help them. They have nothing. You go into a hospital, the floors are filthy. There's no electric. None of the bathrooms work. But the people are so happy for you to help them in any way you can because they don't have clean water. That's the other thing. We have a water program. They brush their teeth with Coke and Mountain Dew. Now imagine using that to brush your teeth, and I have pictures that I took of little ones. It was mostly a children's clinic, right. Because we did cleft palates and things like that also, and just to help these little guys and girls. It was just wonderful that they were, and their parents were just so grateful to us. They'd be lined up, you know, hundreds of kids for the day, and you'd be working from, you know, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You go home exhausted, pass out, and just get up the next day. We were there for a week. They do it for 3 weeks to a year, but it was great. I can't wait to do it again when they restart it.
How did you get involved with that?
A friend of mine from dental school, whose daughter went to Penn State, actually, Dave, I found out about it through another friend, and I said, I'd like to do this. So I did it like 3 years in a row. And they, like I said, they did have stopped doing it because of the situation in Guatemala right now. But I saw one of the women that, and they had nurse practitioners, surgeons, anesthesiologists, oral surgeons, dentists, there, and then just construction people that would help with the water towers and stuff they would put in the schools. And so that's how I got involved. And Dave, I just saw one of my friends at Home Depot, actually. We were talking about that earlier. And she said they should be starting it again, hopefully soon, if everything gets straightened out down there. So I'll be on the plane.
Well, that's just a small sliver of your service to others. You also give back to Penn State in a variety of ways. You've been a life member since 1980. You've been a great donor for the university, but you also give back of your time. I think your service started, if I'm not mistaken, as a mentor with your college, the Eberly College of Science. Talk about mentorship to students and your experience that you've had mentoring, in particularly women in science.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it goes back a little further than that. My son was touring on Spend a Summer Day, and I spoke to somebody for the Center County chapter. Right. Like, how do you get to do this? I want to do this. So both my children were going to be at Penn State, and I started volunteering with the Center County chapter on Spend a Summer Day. So then after that, I got started mentoring with the Eberly College, and I still do. I actually have dinner tonight with one of my mentees from Eberly. His name's Andrew, lives in Lancaster. We're meeting in King of Prussia, which is kind of halfway. And then I have another one that lives. So it is amazing. These are kids that not always want to go into dentistry, but they're in science, and they want some advice about how to do maybe letters or just, network or whatever. And I help them. I talk to them as a person that has been through it. I did research, so I know that route too, working with a corporation, so I can help them. And it is great working with kids. I mean, they eat it up. And like I said, I taught at Temple Dental, so I know what it's like to get in and what you need to get into a dental school. So they eat it up, and I love working with kids. I mean, I love working with adults too, obviously.
You mentioned the Center County chapter.
Yeah.
And Spend a Summer Day. It's virtual again this year, but Center County chapter has put together a great video about service back to Penn State and what they do for Spend a Summer Day. They go all out to welcome students from all over the world to Penn State to welcome them to campus. And so you were introduced by some of our more passionate volunteers doing what they love here in Center County. But you also took that inspiration back home then and got involved in the Bucks County chapter locally. One of the largest scholarship programs that we have here within our chapters, or that we have in any chapters of any institution across the country, is the Bucks County chapter scholarship program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Can I just tell you something really funny too, Paul?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was one of the first recipients of their scholarship when I was in school. So what goes around comes around. Back on Comley's turf farm, which was one of the first people that we had a barbecue and I received a $250 scholarship. This is way back, in the 80s or late 70s.
Right.
I received a $250 scholarship for writing an essay and my GPA. So they do. We have, I can't think of it. It's, we have an endowment, endowed scholarship, and then we have other scholarships. We give out about 9 scholarships a year. And we have a great fund that we, it gains interest every year. And I can't think of his name. I'm sorry, it's off my head. I have so much on my mind all the time. And it is a great board to belong to. And actually, one of the women that was young at the time is still the secretary on that board. And she's like, you were one of the first scholarships that we gave out. I'm like, I know, Gail, but now I am on that board too. So they actually had a meeting last night and I had a meeting with one of my other mentors, mentees, so I couldn't be there, but they're a great group of people. And we have, football watch parties and all the stuff you normally would, but we do a great student, the scholarships are wonderful. I mean, I think we give out about $9,000 a year just in scholarships.
That's amazing. It's amazing, both the longevity of the scholarship program and the number of students that they support. It gets students off to a great start here at Penn State, coming from Bucks County, to know that there are people back home supporting them in their Penn State journey. And so it's a great scholarship program. You can learn more about the Bucks County chapter at psubucksalumni.com. Again, psubucksalumni.com. You can learn more about their scholarship program and how you can get involved if you live in that area of the state. You can also visit our website at alumni.psu.edu to get involved with any of the volunteer opportunities that we're talking about here today on Coffee Hour with Laurie Stanell. So Laurie, we talked about mentoring, we've talked about chapter volunteers, we talked about your work with Thon. We'll come back to that. Well, let's stick there for a second. So you danced at Thon twice, right? Crazy, 48 hours, right? It was before it went to 46. Could you have ever imagined, I know you've been to the Jordan Center now to see what Thon has become and the dollars that they raise and the number of people that are involved. Talk about your impression of where Thon was from your days, right at the, the first 5 or 6 years of Thon to where it is today.
I'm proud. It's a Nindy lion pride. I mean, it just swells my heart with fame. I mean, one of my new mentees is on the committee of Thon. And when I walked in, my daughter danced in 2010 and I brought my 80-some-year-old mother, and they allowed her to sit, thank God. But to see that everyone standing in the BJC and those kids and what they've done, and the last year during COVID raising over $10 million, I have been just blown away. And that's why I still stay involved with Dance Parent. If I could be on the board of that, if I had more time, 1 more hour in my day, I would try to be on that board, because it meant that much to me. It is still one of the proudest times of my life. And those kids just are amazing. When the lion was in it, when was that? That was, and he was Rob Tribeck's son's good friend.
Yeah, 2019, 2019, the Nindy Lion dance for 46 hours. Zach Soa, I guess Zach. His name now, right?
Yeah, real tall kid. I met him without his head behind the stage. And I think, God bless you. You did that in your Nindy line. I mean, those kids and the money and the organization, the logistics of that whole thing and how they do that. only at Penn State. That's what I gotta say. I mean, this is our school. This is what we are. Okay, this is what we are. And you know who said that many years ago. We don't even have to repeat it. No, we should repeat it. This, when they say we are, this is what Penn State is all about. Joe Paterno said that. And this is what we are all about. It is
Absolutely.
about helping people down in our core. This is what we is all about.
Absolutely. And the Thon experience doesn't end at graduation. If people are interested in getting involved with the Dance Marathon Alumni Interest Group, you can visit their website at dmaig.org. That's dmaig.org to get involved with the Dance Marathon Alumni Interest Group. So Laurie, in 2015, you were elected as an alumni representative to the Alumni Council.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your involvement on Alumni Council. I know you served on the DE&I committee and on strategic planning and bylaws, and you co-chaired legislative advocacy, which was responsible for Capitol Day. Talk about your service to Alumni Council.
It was wonderful. I met a lot of great people, and I feel like I made an impact again, because some of the bylaws that needed to be changed, and I'm glad that the size is going down because it's too big. And we won't talk about other things that need to be changed. It's good. That's 10-10 now, 20, or instead of 15 and 15. That's good. That was something we talked about way back then. And it's going to be so much more manageable. And that was something we talked about back then in bylaws. And I'm glad that people were able to see that, and finally, and being a Capitol Day and working, with our congressmen and our representatives was great. It makes a big impact to be able to talk to these people face to face and say, hey, look what we do for you. What can you do for us? Because, Penn State does so much for this state, so much for the country. And, we can't go to Washington. I guess we could go to Washington, but maybe that's our next step. But I know we have representatives that do that because, the people that work for Old Main. But if we could get a group that could go to Washington, that would be great too. But it was wonderful. And diversity, equity, inclusion, obviously that was before this past year. And I've always believed in that. You need that. Here we are, we're a diverse population. We need to be represented in that way, in that percentages and stuff like that. I think here we are. That's who we are. I'm a woman. There should be 50% women, or approximately. It doesn't have to be exact, but we have a voice. You have a voice. People of color have a voice. We should all be heard. So, and that was great being a part of that, because I learned and I gave my opinions. And when I became a trustee 3 years later, it gave me some education. And Randy and I, when Randy was on that with me, right?
Right.
I think so. Everything kind of mushes together when you do all this. But I learned from that I'm a good negotiator. I'm willing to hear other people's opinions and negotiate with them in not a screaming way. I can hear people and take parts of that and be able to hear and then work with people to come to a conclusion and a resolution.
Absolutely. And you served the Alumni Association well. I remember my first day in the office. I was here. I was waiting for my dad. We were going to go to a wrestling match on my first day of work here at Penn State. And you show up on my first day and bearing gifts and welcoming me as an alumni council member. I still have the gift that you brought for me, the blue Kool-Aid, right here on my bookshelf here. But no, you worked on some really important things for us at the Alumni Association during your service on Alumni Council, and we're grateful for that. That springboarded you to 2018 for a run for the Board of Trustees when you became an alumni elected trustee. You served as a member from 2018 just until your term expired here in 2021. You were on academic affairs, research and student life, outreach and development committees. What was most surprising to you about the surprising thing you learned through your service on the Board of Trustees?
What was my
Yeah.
surprising?
You peel back the curtain of the university and you get to see kind of the inner workings of it, and how massive of an operation the university is.
It is massive, and it's a big undertaking, and it gets complicated, I think, when there are so many people on it and so many opinions. And that's my opinion, but I enjoyed being on it. I believe I had some good points when I would voice my opinion. There's some great people on there that have the best for Penn State interests in their minds always, and I think everybody does. I mean, I don't think there's anybody on there that doesn't. It's just a lot of people have different opinions, so that's kind of hard sometimes, but it is what it is, and they're working towards, I believe they're working towards making that a better situation. So I wouldn't take that back for the world. Being on as a trustee, it was wonderful. It's a great honor. It was a great honor to be a trustee.
And you accomplished during your time on the Board of Trustees, you accomplished a lot of things. I know you were able to keep tuition steady. What are some of the things that you're most proud of?
Well, that was something that I was very, very proud of. I would, keeping tuition the same, and I wish I had been able to be there this year, where I would have tried to vote against it again, raising it. It wouldn't have made a difference because there weren't that many people that voted against it, but raising it. But let me think, what were the other things?
And tuition, you were able to have an impact in your community with the launch boxes now on.
Oh yeah, launch boxes are great. Event Penn State is great. And then, just giving my opinion as to what I want for a new president when, in the search for the new president, I think, and it seemed to me like when we had our little, this is all stuff that people don't know about, when we had our little groups of finding a new president, many people were, most all of us were on the same page. There were little tidbits that people wanted different things, and I think all of them were really, really helpful, good ideas. And some of my ideas, people were like, oh, that's a good idea, and then other people were, and I'd be like, oh, that's a good idea, so together I think our search for the president is going to be a really good, well thought out process. It started already, so it's a well thought out process, and that's a wonderful thing for Penn State.
This is the Penn State Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. I'm Paul Clifford. This morning I'm joined by Laurie Stanell, former Board of Trustee member and alumni volunteer. Laurie, we like to have a little bit of fun on Coffee Hour, and so we call it the lightning round. I'm going to throw a couple quick hitter questions at you, and you share the first thing that pops to mind. All right. So first, your favorite class at Penn State?
Oh my God. Biology of aging.
Biology of aging. Excellent.
I know that sounds really.
No, it's great.
It's a
You're
nerd
you're the
class.
first one to say biology of aging here on.
Not many people take it.
How about if you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be and why?
It would definitely be Joe Paterno if God willing, we could bring him back. And why? Because he was my hero,
Yeah.
and he always will be.
How about your most unusual we are moment? Kind of an unusual or an unexpected place. You know, you've traveled the world that you've heard we are, and it maybe caught you off guard. You weren't expecting someone to recognize you as a Penn State or see your Penn State gear.
It was in Mexico, actually,
Right.
on the beach. And someone, you know, they're all speaking Spanish, and all of a sudden I got a "we are" from somebody. I don't know what I had on me, but it was pretty neat.
Excellent. How about your favorite Penn State sport? See, I thought I knew the answer to this question.
Yeah, it's football.
Is it? Okay, I was gonna go with, I know you and I, we've said
Oh, well, I
each
love
other at
wrestling too,
matches,
see?
right?
There's too many, Paul. I love women's volleyball. I love wrestling. I love football. I love lacrosse. You know,
Yeah, it's hard to pick. When people ask me what my favorite team is, I just say whatever season it is.
yeah.
Right? Because it's you cheer for who's in front of you, regardless of what the sport
Don't
is.
let Kale Sanderson isn't in on this, is he? Because
Yeah.
if he is, Russ Rose isn't in this, is he?
No, yeah, Kale just arrived in Japan. He's a coach.
Oh, I know. I saw
US
that. That's
wrestling team,
fantastic.
or at least a couple of our wrestlers are. He's coaching them, and so I'm looking forward to watching them compete next week, representing the U.S. We have track athletes, we have gymnasts, we have volleyball players, wrestlers. I'm sure I'm missing a couple others, cyclists, all representing Team USA.
Mhm. And I saw one of the guys that a friend of mine that is a grad student, and I forget what he does, Bill Shuey, his brother at Penn State, his name's Bill Shuey. His brother is a javelin thrower. I don't know where he goes to school, but he's a javelin thrower.
Okay.
What's his name? Patrick, I think his name is Shuey. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I know Joe Kovacs is a thrower from Penn State. Joe Kovacs will be representing us in track and field. And so I'm, again, looking forward to cheering on the Nindy Lions, even though they're wearing a different uniform, a bigger uniform, right? The Team
Right.
USA uniform. Last lightning round question. What is your favorite flavor of creamery ice cream?
That's not a peanut butter swirl.
Peanut butter swirl. That is fantastic. I know Lisa, who's behind the scenes here, I know that's her favorite. I think you mentioned it's your daughter's favorite as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Laurie, our alma mater says, may our lives swell thy fame, and your service back to Penn State certainly has done that and continues to do that. Thank you for joining us on Coffee Hour this morning and allowing us to share your story.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure, and I love Penn State and always will, and I will always serve her and swell thy fame.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us here on Zoom and on Facebook Live. If you're a member of the Penn State Alumni Association, thank you so much for your support. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Go to our website at alumni.psu.edu, and you too can become a member of the world's largest alumni association. Thank you for all you do for the university, for the glory, and for the future. We are.